friends, I'm Erin, and this is Erin Go Live. Welcome to a weekend reading vlog. It is officially Saturday. It is about 12:03 a.m. on Saturday night. Friday night, actually. Saturday morning. I can't sleep, so I haven't tried sleeping yet, but I am wide awake. I just finished up the weekly vlog with an exciting announcement, but I'll get to that later. But I'll tell you what I was doing tonight. So we had book club tonight where we discussed O Pioneers and Death Came for the Archbishop, both by Willa, Cather. I definitely loved Death for the Archbishop. Death Comes for the Archbishop more than anybody else did. Some of them, like, they agreed that the writing was beautiful. There's just not much of a plot going on. Now, I see it as kind of a series of interconnected short stories that's following one timeline. So it's kind of episodic, and it reminds me in a way of how when you have like a mystery series or even a show like Law and Order or something like that, where each episode or each book could stand alone. So each of these stories kind of could stand alone, but then there's kind of like a through plot line that goes through. So that through plot line is we're learning about our main character, Father Latour, as he becomes the bishop of this area of New Mexico. The line of like the border to between America and Mexico has recently changed, and so there are churches now in priests who are like now in the American jurisdiction that weren't before. And so he's contending with that. These kind of rogue priests and with large families of their own, and not so celibate priests, as well as the conflicts among the Native Americans and everything that brings about. So yeah, I thought it was lovely, and I actually preferred it to O Pioneers personally, but I was really the only one. But what was really exciting is after that, we went to a Christian high school play of Death on the Nile. It's like the play version of, Murder on the Nile. Death on the Nile? One of them's the book and one of them is the, like, play or whatever, and then the movie was made out of it. Anyway, adapted for this high school class, and the daughter of one of our girls in our book club, we're all church friends. That's how we're in book club, how we know each other. Anyway, it was fantastic. The kids did such an amazing job. The daughter, Trinity, was actually the murder victim. I won't say who the character was, but she was the murder victim, so that was kind of cool. And yeah, there we are. So I can't sleep, or I'm not tired. I haven't tried to sleep yet, so I think I should try to get sleepy. So my other book club is a nonfiction book club, and the book that we are supposed to be reading is The Beak of the Finch by Jonathan Weiner. And apparently those who have started it have DNF'd it. I don't know that anybody has been successful in it. It's basically about evolution. And evolution in the flesh, a landmark in evolutionary studies. I think it has to do, it's kind of an expansion on Darwin as far as I understand. And yeah, apparently it's not going well, although it won the Pulitzer Prize. So it looks like many of those in book club are actually not going to read it. Several are actually going to read How to Win and Influence People. Is that the Dale Carnegie book? How to Influence Friends and Win People. How to win friends and influence people. That one. Maybe I'll read both of them. But anyway, I'm going to start. I'm just like blathering on. I'm going to start this tonight in the hopes that maybe I will absolutely love it. But more, I'm hoping that it will bore me enough to sleep. Alright guys, so it's Saturday morning, it's 10 a.m. I am leaving the gym. I was only at the gym for about 2 minutes. I was supposed to have a class, and people canceled. And one of the people in particular canceled super late, and so she's getting charged for that, so I'm gonna still get paid for this hour. But I only live like 3 minutes from the gym, and so I'm gonna actually go home to my neighborhood and go for a walk during this hour. I'm gonna stop for gas real quick, but there's something I wanted to chat with you about, but I got to the gas station too quick. So something from book club last night came up, so I'm gonna talk about that here right after I pump some gas. Okay, so what we were chatting about last night at book club had to do with kind of book ratings and the stickiness or slipperiness of a book. So we read Death Comes for the Archbishop and O Pioneers from by Willa, Cather, and it was the second time I had read O Pioneers. I read it last year in physical form. I listened to it on audiobook this time. It was probably 3 weeks ago since I listened to it, and then I read Death Comes for the Archbishop in physical form. I was the only one, I think, who preferred, we didn't take like a vote on it, but that was the consensus that I got. I was the only one that preferred Death Comes for the Archbishop. It just had more meaning for me. I thought the story was really endearing, and O Pioneers, even though it was the second time I read it, like, I can't tell you very many details about that book. My biggest takeaway from O Pioneers is Alexandra, the main character, is a badass. She rules and the boys drool. That's pretty much what I got from it. And there were like details they were talking about, and I like completely forgot. It wasn't a sticky book for me. Death Comes for the Archbishop, however, is a sticky book for me. And I felt connected to it. And I felt connected and at home in that book, whereas I just felt like I was visiting in O Pioneers. So we got this conversation got started about rating systems, of like the 5-star rating system, because one of the girls suggested, well, we do star ratings, what about moons? So what if you can like objectively say that this book is like beautifully written, the language is amazing, but it's just kind of a sleepy book, and you didn't maybe have such great enjoyment of it, but you can appreciate it for what it is. So then she was like, maybe we have a moon system. So that got this whole conversation started about just like objective and subjective rating and what makes you rate something 5 stars. And so for me, I was saying that the stickiness or slipperiness of a book will affect my rating, particularly down the line. Because I might rate something 5 stars and then look back 6 months later and not even be able to tell you a synopsis of that book. Like, I just have a really terrible memory for stories in general. That includes movies, particularly the endings of things. I just can never remember. But that book would lose, that book lacking that stickiness would lose, at least a star for me. Even if I thought it was a 5-star at the time, if I can't remember it 6 months later, that's not a 5-star book for me. Whereas I might have a 4-star book that just sticks with me, and 6 months down the line, I'm still thinking about it. Years later, I'm still thinking about it. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine and A Man Called Uva are books that were very sticky for me. And years later, I think I read those both in probably 2018, which was the year I discovered BookTube. And those books just stick with me and, resonate with me in a way that a lot of other, maybe objectively better books don't. So anyway, it was a really interesting book discussion. Some turkeys fighting. Oh my goodness. 1 female turkey and 3 male turkeys. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Wish I could have got you some footage of that, but anyhow, I'm gonna go take a walk, enjoy some beautiful weather. I've got about 45 minutes or so that I've got to do that before I have to head back to the gym. I should probably find an audiobook to listen to. As it is still April, I went with Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential. Always wanted to read it, never have. Loved his shows. So yeah, I just started listening to that. I'm gonna walk for about 20 minutes while listening to this before I head back to the gym. And then I have a meeting with the owner of a new gym that's opening up. It's a trainer gym. So there aren't any memberships. The trainers just bring their clients there. So basically the biggest thing I need to find out is how much do I need to pay him to allow me to train clients there. and would that be worth leaving my current situation at Anytime Fitness? Would I be able to do something different, better, whatever? I do know it's a really cool facility with really amazing equipment, so that makes it very tempting. But anyway, I'm gonna have a meeting with him, check out what they've done so far in the gym, so we'll see how that goes. How do you know it's spring? The tortoises are out. There's one of our friends. You come visit me, buddy? Not today. Soaking up that sun. Well, I just did a half-assed job on the backyard. There are so many weeds. I just can't even, but it was so overgrown. I had to do something. So I've been listening to Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential. I am a sweaty, sunblocky, gross mess. So I'm gonna go take a shower, and then it'll be time to retire to the couch for some, oh no, I need to do some house stuff. So I need to start some laundry. I probably need to go to the grocery store. Ugh, responsibilities, life stuff. So I'll probably continue listening to Kitchen Confidential while I do that. I might even finish it today, because I think it's only an 8-hour audiobook, and I'm listening at 1.8 or something like that. But Graham Greene's The Heart of the Matter is the physical book that I'm reading. I've started it. I've been reading Bicycling with Butterflies, but I think I'm actually going to save that. I'm enjoying it. I've just been distracted by other things that have higher priority as far as deadlines for book clubs and stuff like that. So I have a hold on that from Libby, and that's going to be done ready within 2 weeks. So that sounds perfect for Springathon. So I'm going to save that for then. And in the meantime, I can focus on The Heart of the Matter. And then also for my other book club, either I need to be reading Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, and or The Bank of the Finch, which I barely started. I know most of the people in my book club who started it have DNF'd it and just aren't interested in it. So so far, I started reading it just a little bit, maybe literally 5 pages, and interested so far. So we shall see. It is a beautiful warm day. Probably got a bit of a tan. I'm glistening with sweat and sunblock right now, so I need to go wash that off and continue to listen to Mr. Bourdain, the incomparable Mr. Bourdain. I miss his shows. I miss him. I'm going to attempt the viral sensation that is cottage cheese ice cream. So I have non-fat cottage cheese and frozen strawberries. Woo, they're gonna fall over. So I'm gonna do, and I'm making up my own measurements on this, kind of based on my personal needs for my calories today. So I pre-tracked this. So I'm gonna go with a cup, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of extra stuff for flavoring. So it's gonna be 113 grams of cottage cheese. Whoops, that was way much. That was way too much. Pay attention to what you're doing, Aaron. Way too much. Maybe I'll do a cup and a half. Yeah, I'll do a cup and a half. Frozen strawberries. I'm just gonna measure with my heart. 1, 2, sure. And same thing with the vanilla. Boop, boop. It definitely needs liquid, so I'm gonna go with some oat milk. I'm just gonna eyeball this. Boop, boop. Half a cup maybe? Try this again. Oh, that texture. Okay. Taste. Oh, it's good. Very cheesecakey. That's really good. I'm gonna chop up some fresh strawberries, mix that in, and put it in the freezer for a few hours. I let it sit for about 3 hours. It definitely could sit longer. The top is like nice and firm, but it's pretty soft on the inside. So here goes. I'm gonna go for the more frozen kind of texture. Ooh, I think it's kind of icy. It's really good. It would be so good with some graham crackers. And kind of mix it. I heard someone say that 5 hours was like the sweet spot for it not turning into ice, but it's still being, but it being more set up. But I'm happy with this. Especially with those fresh strawberries that I added to it, the strawberry chunks. Highly recommend. With that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and close out this vlog. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm just gonna chill for the rest of the evening reading The Heart of the Matter by Greene. I've hardly started it, so I don't really have much to say about it so far. I'm on page 11. So one thing I'll say, it hasn't captured me very much. It hasn't captured me really at all quite yet. I'm not feeling super drawn to it at the moment, but this was I don't know if I talked about this. I talked about it at book club, so I don't know if I told you about it. The reason I chose The Heart of the Matter was initially, a long time ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I had this idea to do this like Down the Rabbit Hole with Alice project, and I started it. And the idea was, you read a book and it references another book or it reminds you of another book. And so maybe you even buy a book because of a book, right? So I bought that because of Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She mentions it multiple times. And it's kind of critical to the storyline because she like compares her and Emily uses as an example, uses The Heart of the Matter as an example to kind of illustrate a point between her and his name, Obinzu, whatever the guy's name is in that. Anyway, so I ended up buying The Heart of the Matter because of Americana. My project I originally did, I started with Alice in Wonderland, and then I was going to read A Blade So Black, which is a modern retelling, and 2 times DNF'd it. So it just didn't go anywhere. And so anyway, that's where this all started. I feel like I'm not explaining it very well, but there you have it. Thank you for watching. Remember, every day is a great day for a great day all day.